Yeah, very good evening to all. Hope it is audible. If yes, can you give a quick yes or good evening in the chat? Okay, fine. Very good evening. Almost five are there, including me. Okay, that's nice. Okay, fine. So almost 6:45. We don't want to waste a minute. We have only less time, but we have more thing to learn. And we'll start. No more waiting for the people. We'll start. And before starting, I gave you assignment question yesterday, and I gave you the deadline of today 6 o'clock. I think so. Only one person, that is Malini. I think so. Only she have given response, and what about others? One question mark. And one more thing I'll tell you, I'll post some assignment question, and based on your response and based on your activities only, I'll post the daily questions. So daily I'll be posting questions. Those who are belongs to the previous batch, you know it very clearly. Per day I'll be posting 3 to 5 questions as assignment section. So daily you'll be having a assignment, and I'll give you nearly time. So today if I'm posting up to tomorrow, I'll give you time. It does not take much time to solve also. So if it is a 5 question or 6 question, takes a time. It's like a MCQ and one code. Do it, and if you need the answer for that, and if you want me to explain, then you have to complete based on all of your responses. I'll give the answers, and I'll be giving you the explanation also. So today I'll not be explaining about the assignment question. So directly we'll jump into the content. So once everyone have responded, I'll try to give. And if you're not responding, keep on. If you're not responding, assignment question will be posted. And if assignment question is not given, directly you have to go with a test. So if you're solving the assignment question itself you can get as a test. Possibilities are there. So if based on your response only, I'll be posting the daily questions. Yeah. Hope you got it. So fine. Those are joined also fine. Those are not joined also. Hope they'll be seeing the recording. Through the recording, they'll let them hear. And next important thing, yesterday we have started what is pandas, and based on the data frame we are working. So creating the data frame, how to deal with the rows and the column indexing, and etc. etc. We have discussed. And today is going to be the more interesting things as they waiting for you. And yesterday we made a few mistakes. I apology for that extremely because it happens, right? So I thought let's continue about the previous batch and this batch. So I did not save the file. That is the biggest mistake I did yesterday. Really sorry for that. And today everything is going to be perfect, no issue at all. Everything aram sai. We will discuss one by one, very chill. And we have to just speed up so that because it's going to be our day 4, and just we have only 6 more days to complete it. So today is going to be the ending day of pandas. Tomorrow we'll discuss few questions based on the pandas, then numpy. If possible, today only we'll start what is numpy. Numpy will not take that much days. Nearly 2 days sufficient to complete because according to our syllabus, we can complete it. Then we can go to matplotlib data based on the data visualization. Then we'll based on the pandas, numpy, and the data visualization. We'll combine one kind of a mini project we'll take, and we'll try to do it, or we'll take as a one revision. So in the revision itself, we'll try to implement all together. Yeah. So to find or to complete one project or to complete any project, we need a content of pandas, numpy, and matplotlib. We have to know the base about these kind of things. So fine. Yesterday we are discussing about. Just we'll recap what are things we are discussing in yesterday's session. Okay. So yesterday we have started from here. Thank you. So yesterday we have started from here. That is like how to create a data frame. So how to create a data frame? By using the list also we can create the data frame. So by giving the square bracket we have discussed. And same thing for the to check the data type, we can go like that. So by using data frame, you can see here it is going to be a data frame. So to check the data type, we can go with the print type of df. So or what is your variable, your name you're keeping. So now to read the CSV file, you have to write as a pandas dot read underscore CSV, and what is your file name you have to give. Okay, so based on your file name only it will be loaded. And you can see here, so how to filter only one column we have discussed, and what is the type. If you're filtering only one column, type is going to be series we have discussed. And next is nothing but based on the indexing also we have discussed. If you want to select more than one column also, we have to use fire. That is nothing but list within list we used to tell. So inside the data frame, I'll be calling only few data frames. So that is why you are using list within list. Two lists you are using. If you're using a one bracket, it is going to be just a data frame. But that data frame has more columns. But you're trying to tell only three columns. So it is like a mismatching. So you are telling that does my entire data frame, from this data frame, I need few. So this is my entire classroom. Out of 60 people, I need only three people. That is what you're telling. So they are belongs to the section A. In that section A, 60 members are there. Out of 60 member, I need only three people as a volunteer. So that is what you're doing here. So filtering more than one column. So shape also we have discussed. So how many rows are there and how many columns are there. So to filter, we can go with a shape. So same thing I discussed with the number of rows and the number of columns. We have discussed. Next, we have discussed with head. Very good. So we are done with the head. Head is nothing but by default, you will be having a five values you will be getting as an answer. By default, five. I don't want five. I need a two top two people or a last three people. What am I? Then according to your statement, I can change. So head is going to be by default is going to be 5. I don't want 5. I need a 10. Then I can go with the your variable or what data frame you are keeping a name. That data frame dot head with a passing the value called as a 10. So it's called going to be an argument or you can tell as a parameter. So tail, if you want to filter the bottom values, so then I can go with the tail. By default, you will be printing the last five values, but I don't want last five values. I need only last three values. Then I can give as a tail of three or last eight values I need. I can go with the passing the argument called as a eight. We have discussed about this, and if you want to go with the in between, head and tail is nothing but top and bottom. What about the middle? Can I go with the center? We don't have any method called as a center. For that only we are going with the slicing. So slicing is nothing but from the 12th index position up to the 20th index position. Last index will not be considered up to 19th index position. It will be considered. So from 12 to 19 will be the output. So we have discussed this and how to filter two rows. Also we have discussed and okay. So selecting the column and this what thing we have discussed. So remaining today we'll start with the next one. And yesterday I think so. Forgot the name. Magarajan sir was asking like, sir, are you able to print the maximum or a minimum value or a age or a mark? Who is that candidate? So you have to filter that. So maximum is going to be here. Weight of the maximum is going to be 105. So I can print by using max method. Yeah. So I'll be able to print max and who is that person? Same thing. If I want to choose those who belongs to the same university. So that's like if you are going with the equality checking, right? So this equality checking. So if it is equal to SRM University means who is that candidate? I have to filter their name alone, or they have to filter their details, the entire details. So these kind of doubts you were asking. So today we'll sort it one by one. So now, first of all, we have loaded the CSV file done. So after loading, so suppose today task is nothing which I posted you in the chat. So according to our thing we'll be dealing only this. So already we have done with creating the data frame. How to create the data frame we have discussed by using list, by using dictionary, everything we have discussed already. And today we'll deal with the rows and column. Yesterday just we have started and today we'll go with in-depth about it and dropping, how to drop the column, how to drop the row or a two column, everything we'll discuss. And last is very, very important thing in the data frame is nothing but dealing with the missing data. Missing data is nothing but everywhere we used to use this, either you using or developing the application or a project, whatever might be there, everywhere you will be having like a missing data. In the Excel sheet, can we see that empty columns or a row will be there? So in if that is the case, what should I fill? That is what that last thing, working with the missing data. So now we'll get started. So now suppose if you want to filter the columns alone. So yesterday we left with the columns only. We'll continue with the columns. So I'll write with the column. So DF is not there, so it's going to be data. So it's going to be data. Remember it because here I'm storing with the data. So that is what here we are called with the data. So data dot column is going to be how many columns are there. So nearly we have a 9 column. All 9 has been filtered. Now same thing if you want to go with the index of it. So you just will type as an index. I can get that which start from the 0, end with a 5, and individual time it is going to be step with 1 and 1. Now, next, what about the names? Suppose I have to filter the one column name. So then I can go with the df or data, sorry, data of, what is my data? Suppose I need name. So I can go with the name. And If you want to find the type of this also, just we have done already. Just we'll try to, for continuity, I'm telling this. So type of is going to be a series. Now, suppose if you want to print a more columns. So suppose I want to, telling me to print, so I need to print name and the person, age, and that candidate or a person's position. Okay, so it should be position, not position. It should be position. So you can see here I'm able to print three column and their values. So now, most important thing, this is nothing but data frame we can tell. So now let's get started with the operations. So just we'll put a title as of operations on data frames. Here only we'll be learning with a max, min, and mean, describe, these kind of things we'll be learning. So I'll put people are joining now. Okay. So fine. So operations on data frame. So first, suppose you want to go with the data of my age. My age should be in the uppercase. So now age, I have to filter the maximum age. So can I filter the maximum age? Yes, I can filter the maximum age is going to be 32. Same thing if you want to filter the minimum also, I can filter the minimum. So minimum is nothing but who has a less. So just we have discussed, and now who is that candidate, right? So I have to filter that who is that candidate. So how to filter that who is that candidate? Suppose your age is going to be what? So that person, every details I have to filter. So for the filtration purpose, very simple. I need to filter what? Suppose your requirement is going to be, sir, who's going to be the maximum person, like age, that person's name alone I have to display. So then what can I do? So I can filter with a data, data of. Data is nothing but, yesterday we are discussing about the DF. So DF is a variable only we are telling as a data DF. DF is nothing but data frame used to tell. So now data frame is going to be changed as a data. So it's a variable only, we can keep anything. Now what I have to do, I have to find the maximum. So right, just I'll write in this bracket like what we did in my data dot age. So what is my data dot age? If it is equal to my data dot capital A should be there. So here I have to change it as capital A. Age, I have to find for the minimum. So min. Okay, fine. I'll be finding that minimum. So after finding the minimum, in place of printing only 32 or 20, I have to filter with who is that candidate. What is their name? I have to filter. So who is that name? I can tell like, so minimum is going to be in our table. Who has a minimum age 20? That is mileage. So I can get output call as mileage will be the output. So now this is completely fine. I can predict the output. Sir, how to print in the format of table? It is not printing in the format of table. Suppose, or I need to print with age also. I'll give as a age. I can see, okay, age is not defined. Okay, because not defined, it will be like more than one filtration. So nothing but it is going to be inside the data frame. I'm filtering one more data frames. That is what I said you in the beginning itself. So when you're going with the data frame, from the data frame, if you're picking only two columns or a three column, then you have to write in the two brackets. So now you can see the output is going to be the output. So now age is going to be minimum age is going to be 20, and who is that candidate? That candidate name is going to be Nilesh. And same thing, I'll post in the chat. And suppose I don't want name, I need age, name, as well as I need their salary details also. I can give as a salary. So you can see here it is added. Okay. So that's about thing. So now this is what the doubt you asked. I think Maharajan sir, I did with that. Next is nothing but based on the equality checking. Suppose you want to filter those who are greater than, those who are scored a mark greater than 50 or 90s. So if that is the case, I can go with from my data, from my data, we'll do one thing. So in place of typing data, it is very difficult to find. So we'll do one thing. We'll load that CSV file one more time in this cell, and I'll store inside the DF. So DF is somewhat easy to filter. So I have filtered now. Okay, from here I'll use DF. Okay, don't confuse. I've changed to the DF. I'm using DF. So now what I have to do? So DF of PF, I need a person like who has been scored more than 90. Then I can filter like marks. Mark is my column. So in that marks, who has been scored greater than or equal to 90? I filter that name. So who scored greater than or equal to 90? You can see here we have a 90, and here we have a 90. Two persons are there, 2% detail has been filtered. So now same thing, minimum, max, or greater than, or if you want to check a equality also you can check that. Suppose you have to check with the equality. So I'll go with the DF, we might DF from the college, or I'll take as a, or we can tell as a college name, college, those who are belongs to, copy, those who belongs to the SRM university, try to filter them alone. Suppose I'll make some mistake. By mistake, I'm not giving space. You can see here, no one will be there because there is no matching one by one, because even a space is going to be a string. So even that space will create a memory in every programming language. So now it is going to be exactly matching. Suppose you are given in the lower case. So yes, I'm universally pronunciation, but according to the programming language, it is going to be case sensitive. Uppercase means it should be uppercase. Lowercase means it should be a lowercase. So you can see here, nothing is going to be filtered because there is no right matching. So it should be as it is. That is why I'm copying and pasting. Now, these are the operations. Now, if you want to set the index, so I'll go with the next operation called as a set underscore index. So here, what is the purpose of set underscore index? Nothing but I have to set my index as my name. My name should be my index, because here all the time I'm telling us 0, 0. Even when I'm printing this data here, when I'm printing this data, you can see here it is printing with this 3 also. I don't want this 3. Then what can I do? I can set my index. So how can I set my index? In my data frame, in data frame, I have a method called as a set index. You can see here, set access is there and set index. How I'm getting the suggestion? By clicking on that tab button. So just type set give tab. So what are the method comes under this set index or a set access, everything will be there. Now we are going with a set index. Now what should I set as my index? I should set my name as my index. You can see here it has been set as my name as my index. Now if you want to do this operation like see here, I'll be printing with my, sorry, it should be a df. Here I'll change my df because it is filtering the data variable, because now we have changed to df. So from the df, I need a value only this pattern. So now I'm able to filter. So now after setting my index, you're trying to filter it. Now if you're filtering, it is printing with the 3 also. You might found that 3. So now I have set my index as name, but still it is not reflecting. Why? You can see it is not still reflecting. If you change to the max also, so who's the maximum age I can print? So 32 is going to be age I can print, but it is printing with the index. Actually, we made my index as name, right? Where it is affecting? It is not affecting. And if you want to print df also, you can see here, when I'm printing df, still it is 0 only. Just now we have changed, right? That's like a set underscore index. We have changed to name. It is printing here. Why it is not reflecting here? Okay, so very simple. There's nothing but this action is performing only to this cell. It is not changing my original data. So to change my original data, we have a I'll write here. So we have a parameters called as a in place. So now we can write as it is. I'll show you the right output y. So now when I'm printing this, it is not reflecting to my output. So for this, we have to write a So you can see that many arguments are there. So today only we'll discuss one by one. You can see here drop is there. Today I'll teach you about the drop, append, in place, and next is nothing but verify. This will not be using because it is completely based on the application oriented. So we'll be using like drop and append and in place. Append people know already. Append is nothing but adding a value at the last. That is called as append. So drop we'll discuss and in place we'll discuss. So first we'll go with in place. What is in place? In place is nothing but by default, what answer you saw? By default, you'll be having false. So you'll be having like a false here. So now, what is in place? I'll tell you. In place is nothing but I have to reflect to my original data. You're saving the file. Suppose I'm changing here as suppose I have Excel sheet here. 11 is there. This 11 I'm modifying as a 90. I'm not saving. If I'm not saving, will it be reflected to my data? No. In that folder or in this file name, this previous value, whatever is there, previous value is 11, only 11 will be there until you're saving that number. So now I'm changing to suppose 90. I should give as save here. Only then it will be changed to the 90. Same thing, this in place nothing but what are the changes you are making here that should reflect to my variable called as DF, data frame. So now that is what you're writing as a, by default you'll be having a false. Now if you're changing it as a true, now it will be reflected. Now it is reflected. Now if you want to print DF, you can see here, I can get my index. Now, shall we try this question? Previously it is printing that 0 as my index. Now whether we'll check whether it is reflected or not. So name is not index. Very good. So one is nothing but we have to remove this. So now you can get the output. So because we are telling that I need to print the column, just see the previous error. Previously I'm telling like after filtering the maximum is nothing but after filtering the maximum age, I have to print that maximum person name, age, and salary. So now in the previous cell, what we did, we made the index as name. So index as name means it comes under the row part. So now in my table, row is going to be done. Column, if you take, I have a column called as a team and marks, position, age. Only this I have here. But here what I'm telling you to telling the interpreter to tell or a print with name. Whether do we have a column name called as a name here? We don't have. That is what the error we are getting. So just read the error, you'll understand. Name is not in index. So you're telling that to print the index value, where I have that name to print? I don't have. So in the place of name, if you're changing to college, I'll change to the college. So now, okay. So now is nothing but spelling mistake. So college, you can see here, yes. So who is the maximum age? So 32 and name is printed and he belongs to the SR University and age is going to be 32 and salary is going to be this. Yes, it is working completely excellent. It is working like superb. Yeah. What is the operation you're telling? Yes, I'm able to do it. So remember that in place. In place by default, you'll be having a false. False is nothing but it won't reflect to your main data. So you are telling that what are the changes I'm making that should be saved or stored in the my main idea. So if that is the case, then I have to give as in place. Why people are joining now still? Okay, fine. This about the first ideas. I'll share this also in the chat. One by one, I'll share. Just try to cross check whether everything is working or not. Or try to observe now. I'll give you the material. Day wise, I'll try to share the material in the group so that you can write it. Just now try to observe. Okay, so now done. So what is next? Now I have to, you made this as an index, right? So fine. I have to made as an index completely fine. My data has been reflected. Now you're telling that I don't want this name as an index. I have to make my zero. So like I should go with the previous data itself. So then what can I do? I can go with the reset my index. Now you're setting the index. So in place of setting the index, you have to go with the zero. Like this data I need. So previously like 0, 1, 2, 3 was there. I should go back to my same index. I don't want my name as my index. So then we can go with the reset your index. So how to reset your index? Now when I'm printing this df, we are getting what output? We are getting this index as my name only. But I don't want this you're telling. That is what our request. So now how to go? So by in my data frame, we have a reset. You can see here many things starting with a reindex like, rename, many things are there. Now what I need to go with the reset index. What should I reset? So whatever is there in the previous position, please make it as a true. So in place, I'll change as a true. So T should be in the uppercase. Now after changing, so it has been resetted. Now when I'm printing this df, you can see here it has been changed. So previously it was when I'm printing this df, it is printing with what? My index as name. Yep. But now after resetting the index, it became like a previous position. By default, you'll be having 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's about the reindexing. Now we'll go with the next topic called as a to drop row and columns. So to drop rows and columns, make it as a rows and columns. So now how to drop the row and column? Yesterday just we have started and we wind up because of time is done. So today we'll completely be focus on rows and the column, how to drop it. Now first of all, I'll load my data set. So in place of typing and wasting our time, just will paste which we loaded already. So here is my data. Because individual topic, if you are writing like this, so always you'll have one reference. So as of now, I'll take it as df1 and df1. So when I'm printing this df, if I'm changing only this df1, it will change only this df1. It won't change my original data. So that I'll take one more variable reference as df1. Now wherever we want to make a changes, I have to use only df1. Next, now how to drop a list of rows by indexing, by giving the indexing, how to drop. Suppose here we have to drop like a 0th index, I have to drop second index, I have to drop fourth index. How to drop, that is what the next. So now how to drop list of rows, it is like a list of rows by giving your index. I'll give as a function name called as a drop. So my df1 data frame 1 dot drop. I'll be using a drop. Now what should I drop? I should drop a index called as 0, comma 1, sorry, 2, comma 4. So like this, I'll be moving. So now after dropping, we have two things. So like here, we have something called as a label, access, index, columns, level, in place, and error. So leave the error. When you're going with exception handling, you'll learn something called as a raise, try, catch, throw. These kind of things will be there, exception part. Now, today we'll discuss, already we have done with the in place. Already we have done with the columns. To filter the column, we have done with the column. Index also we have discussed. Today we'll discuss about the access. What if I'm giving access as 1, access as 0? So by default, it is 0. So if I'm giving 0, what will happen? If I'm changing to 1, what will happen, I'll tell you. So now suppose here I'm giving as my access is going to be 0, comma access, I'll be giving as a first value to drop, I'll give as a 0. Now can I give 0 directly? Yes, why not? Because my default value, either you give or not, no issue. I can see here I have dropped my values. So in the 0th index, first name has been dropped. In the second index, Rahul has been dropped. And in the fourth index, Nikita has been dropped. I have dropped. Now, after dropping, if I'm printing df1, you can see here it is printing everything. Because this df1 drop 0 to 4, access you are giving as a 0. Access 1 is nothing but, I'll tell you, as of now, we'll complete 0. So now, whatever changes you are making, it is changing only in the cell, 41th cell. Yeah, it is not reflecting to my main like a variable data frame. So now if you want to make a original changes, like when I'm printing df1, so I should not print this entire data. Then what can I make? Anyone? How to reflect? Just previously I've discussed. What you have to give? Post in the chat, or you can unmute and you can tell the answer. No one knows. Okay, those who are listening the class, just post happy in the chat. Those are active. So Yogesh is okay, active. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. So I got one response. Exactly. So we have to use in place. Just now we have discussed about in place. So in place by default you will be having a false. So now if you are making it as a true, then I'll be reflecting. So as of now, we know the answer. We don't want to make any changes. Or if you want to do really changes, means store in one variable called as, suppose I'm keeping as F. So here I'll change as in place equal to, I'll give as a true. Okay. Now when I'm printing this F, I can get that data. Okay. Now when I'm printing this DF1, I can see here it has been changed. Clear? It has been in place. So in place, if you are reflecting also, you can see here it has been changed. So now it is getting error because I have compiled one more time. That is my mistake. Because it's not a mistake. It's about like you're compiling. Already you have dropped 0, 2, and 4. Now again you're telling to drop. So is it dropped already? Yes. After dropping, how can you find the index as 0, 2, and 4? It will not be there, right? Yeah. So that is what the bugs we are getting here. So we'll just avoid it. Now when I'm printing this BF1, I can see here I have only two index. I have only two index. This is completely fine. Okay. Now, if you go like based on this scenario, yes, works. Now, how to recover it? I have changed that data, but how to recover? I need my entire data, like all the table, like this entire value I need. How to get this entire value? Nothing but try to load one more time. Try to load one more time. So if you're loading one more time, I'll be getting the answer. Now, what are the things I have to done previously? I have to drop this. So here, as of now, I'll hide this line. I'll put for only called as access 0. Because in place, as of now, let it keep as false only. Because if you are making as a true, everything is changing. So I hope you understood what is true and false. So for that, I keeping as a hold. So remaining is going to be, I'll be dropping. So after dropping, I'll try to print my data. So you can see here, after dropping, I have printed my those data. So still when I'm printing DF1, you'll be having all the data. Now, fine. So now, after doing this process, next is nothing but now you're randomly choosing 0, 3, and 4 like this. You are picking randomly. Now I have to go with a based on the indexing. So now index like sorry, based on the slicing. So I have to set of data I have to drop like from second index to fourth index or second to 10th index, 20 to 30th index. Then how can I drop? So next is nothing but based on the slicing we can tell. So how to slice it? Same thing. Can I use two times? So I'll write like this. 2 is to 4. So from the second index to I give as a fifth index, I have to drop. Will it drop really? And see here, it will not be dropped. Why? Because it is an invalid syntax. We'll think like that because here you are choosing 0, 2, 4. So it is randomly it is accepting the index. Fine, completely fine. Why? Because when you're going with a list concept, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 when you're storing, when you're trying to print A, I can get my entire list. When you're trying to print A of 1 to 4. So from the first index to the third index, everything will be get printed. You can see here 3 values will be get printed. From 2 to 4, it will be get printed. This is about the slicing. So suppose if you want to go with the indexing, so A of 3 I'm giving. What is the third index portion? We have value 4. Yes, we are able to filter the values. This is how the list is working. Now, same thing, what we'll do in the place of this, we'll be giving as a slicing so that it will work. No, completely no, it won't work. So now what we have to use? So now if you want to use the multiple values, we can go like you're dropping few datas. So now I'll keep my variable. We are storing the df1. So df1 dot, what I have to do? I have to drop. Now, what I have to drop? Just tell me what I have to drop in my data frame one. In my data frame one, in the index. Okay, we have, like, I'll show you that method also. We have an index here. One by one parameter we are learning index. So we have an index. We'll make a use of index now. So I'll go with the index. Index from way to way, from the second index position to the fourth index position. What I have to do? I have to drop. After dropping, try to print. You can see here from the second index position to fourth index position. So second index position means it will start from, my starting is going to be 2 and ending is going to be 3. Then only 2 values will be dropped because ending value will not be considered from the first class. I'm telling this. So now 4 means 4 will not be considered, up to 3 will be considered. So from my entire data set, from starting from 2, from ending with the 3, only these two names will be removed. Only Rahul and Nilesh will be get dropped. Yeah, that is dropped. Now suppose you are changing to 5, then 4 also will be removed. 4 is nothing but Nikita. So you can see here Nikita has been dropped. Yeah. Now, what else we are going to do? So now we are able to go with the indexing. Now, most important thing, when you're giving with the access, I said you about this access, when you're giving as a 0, we are able to drop something. What if your access going to be, I'm giving as a 1. You can see here, there is no permission, because when you're going with a 1 or I will be giving as a 0. So do you have 0th index position? Yes. You can see here, because already in my data I have 0th index position. I'm trying to drop it, but still it's not dropping because this, like, a 0 is not found, they are telling. Why? Because 0 is nothing but you're granting the permission to do the changes. 1 is nothing but you're not giving any permission. So you can see here, there is no permission to access it. That is what the 1 and 0. So if you're giving as drop 0 and if you're giving as 1, here also I'll give as here. Already I have dropped, but again I'll try to give one more time. You can see here, when I'm trying to do this drop, it is not giving me any access. There is no access found, they are telling. So if I'm giving as 0, then you're giving that permission is allowed. You can see here I have dropped. 2 to 5 I have dropped. Suppose you're giving as 2 to 3. You can see here I have dropped. So from 2 and 3, only 2 and 3 will be removed. So only 2 second index portion will be removed. 3 will be left as it is. So I can see that 4 data has been filtered. So now understand the one concept. In place we have discussed. What is in place? In place by default you will be having a false. So which cannot be reflected in your variable. If you want to make a reflection, then I can go with the in place as a true. We have discussed about in place. Then next we have discussed about the access. Access by default is going to be 0 and 1 you can change. So if you're changing from 0 is nothing but you're giving permission to do, someone you're giving access to modify. If you're giving as access as a 1, then no one can modify. That is what the access. Now index is nothing but same thing. Index by default you'll be having a none. None is nothing but it won't pick anything. But you are telling that I have to pick from the second index position and drop me on the third. So from the 2 to 3 means I can take only one value, that is 2 has been dropped. Yeah. So hope you're getting a clarity one by one. Next is nothing but based on your in place. We have discussed, yes, we have discussed about in place. Next we are trying to drop 0. We can see here we are able to drop 0. When I'm giving as access equal to 1, then it is getting as error. What is that error? Key error. There is no such value like that. So it is telling me that 0 not found in access. So if you're giving as 0 here, yes, we are able to drop. So 0th position has been. Okay. Okay. So what is next? So next is nothing but, suppose if you want to drop all the rows after the index, I'm telling, after the index, like you're telling as 0, other than the 0, everything should be deleted, you're telling. This is nothing but directly you're picking 0, so only 0th position has been filtering, like it is dropping. Now you're telling that other than the this index. So you're telling that, so other than the roll number 10, 20, 30, everyone are absent. Like in this kind of database, suppose when you're going with the creating a database based on the students' attendance or a mark sheets, then you have to go with this kind of stuff. So other than these roll numbers, everyone are belongs to the absentees or presentees. You're telling that kind of methodology. So then I can go with the how to draw all rows after the index. So then how can I do? Nothing but I can use a ilog. Yesterday we were discussing about the LOC and ILOC. So what is LOC and ILOC? Post in the chat. What does that mean? Minute. Give me a minute. Just answer for this question. Yeah. What is LOC and ILOC? LOC is nothing but we have to give as a column name or a row name. We have to give that name. ILOC is nothing but you have to give a index like a 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, like that you have to give a number. LOC means you have to give correct row name. What is my correct column name? You have to give that. So we'll discuss that only. So first, if you want to go with your locking the index. So what are the index you're locking? Suppose you're telling that from my data frame 1 equal to from my data frame 1, I'll use ILOC. You can see here many things are there one by one. So now like I at is there, IDX max is there, IDX min is there, ILOC index, many are there. Yeah. So now I need to go with the iLock. So this every method comes under the pandas only. Everything comes under the pandas. It's like a biggest keep on, it will be you should learn within 1 day, 2 day, 10 day and all. We cannot learn, we cannot complete everything. We can learn the base, we can get started. And if you are working into the machine learning, data science, or any other field also, we cannot learn in depth, and no one will be knowing about the in depth about the concept. So according to your research work and research area, you will be learning what are the concepts. Same thing in our session, what is needed only we'll be discussing. So when you're going with the infer underscore object and all, when you're going with the class and object, there you will be using. Okay, but according to our scenario, will not be using. So in what is your application development, or what is your project, what is your research oriented? So based on your research work, you can carry on your methods which is needed. Now I need to go with the iLock, so I'll use a iLock. So from where to where I have to lock? From the starting to 3 to 0. So here what are the values will be having? 0, 1, 2. Other than the 0, 1, 2, drop every values. You can see here, after dropping this, I have to print that BF1. I'll print this BF1. So how many values? Totally we have many values. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 was there in my Excel sheet. Up to 4, I think so. This is my entire sheet. Up to 4 was there. Now I'm telling to drop only last two. Why? Because other than 0, 1, 2, you have to drop remaining stuff. That is what the I lock. You are locking only which are the things you need. I have locked from 0. So because if empty is given, here we have nothing. So if empty is given, by default you'll be starting with a 0 only. If nothing is given, starting position is going to be 0. From 0 to 3, 3 will not be considered, up to 2 will be considered. I have locked it. Now you're telling that I have to lock only from 2 to 4. 2 to 4 means what are the values it will take? 2 to 4 means 2 will be taken, and second index portion will be taken, and third index portion will be taken. So other than this 2 and 3, remaining you have to drop. Is it dropped? Yes. So previously, why it is printing only 2, sir? Nothing but already we have dropped that 0, 1, 2. Or that is like previously we dropped it. From there, we are trying to take this value. Already 3 is dropped, right? That is a problem. Yeah. So now if you want to go like actual data, then I have to load from my data frame. Suppose you're printing my DF1. You can see here it is printing only 2. So this mistake will happen because of only reason you have to store in a different one more variable so that your original data will not be reflected. So now just I'll try to load from top only, because here only I have my data frame 1. So from here I'll try to load one by one option. So now I'll come back to my position. So when I'm printing that DF1, I can see that all the data has been filtered. Now I have to lock, right? So now I'll store that in the df1 dot iloc. I have to lock what? I have to lock from 2 to 4. 2 to 4 means 2 will be dropped, 2 will be dropped, and 3 will be dropped. Yeah. So this, in place of reflecting in the df1, I'll try to store that in the one different variable. Here you are storing. If you're storing in the one different variable, completely fine. I can see that. So C value is going to be only 2 and 3. So only these two will be get printed. When I'm printing DF1, you can see here every data are there. Previously, when I'm printing DF1, it is not printing only because this value not storing in the C variable. So you're telling like directly store in the DF1. So now I'll be storing what are the you're dropping it, or what are things you're removing. After dropping or removing, remaining stuff store in the C variable. So I have stored it. Now this about the dropping the row with more than that conditions. Now if you want to drop the multiple conditions, like you have to print like, so those who have scored more than 80, and those who have scored, or those who have age called as 30 plus, like this you are making 2 or more conditions, then you're filtering the data. So suppose in this sheet, I'm giving example as, I'll go to the Excel sheet. Okay. So now, in place of printing like only one condition up to now we have discussed, now I'll teach you with a multiple condition. Now you have to filter. Okay. So those who have scored, can we go with the filtration here? So we'll go with the filtration. So I'll try to apply the filter. So now I have to filter those who have scored more than 70. So more than 70 means 77, 83, 90, and 97. So these are the people scored more than 70. I have filtered their names. Now same thing, age. Age I have to filter. Suppose I have to filter the age, like I'll apply for everyone only. So those who have scored more than, okay, so those who have scored more than 70 I have to filter, and their age should be greater than 25. So greater than I'm telling. So greater than 25 means 25 will not be included. So it should be greater than or equal to means only 25 will be considered. So now I'm filtering those who have scored more than 70 and those who are age has greater than 25. Filter those name alone. Is it filtered? This is what the feature we are doing in the Excel. Yeah. Yes. Now we are applying two conditions. Yes, we are applying two conditions so it is satisfied, so that only these two persons are getting filtered. So now how to write that kind of things in the pandas? So very simple. Same thing, I'll give a two conditions. What are the conditions? You can give a first condition. First we'll go with a step by step. Only one condition I'll try to apply. So now from my df1 data frame 1 drop. What should I drop? I should drop a data or a df1 whose age is going to be greater than or less than 70. Whose age is going to be greater than 70, their index should be taken up. So mismatch. So where is that mismatch? Okay, so bracket mismatches. So in my df, drop df Okay. So here I'm using of one more thing. I have to use df because df inside df. I said you about that df inside df. So inside my df, I'll have this fire bracket. Fire bracket from here to here. I'll try to measure because in this df is nothing but what my entire data frame. From the data frame, we're going with the one more condition. Okay. So now those who are less than 70 drop their names. Remaining you have to print. Is there anyone is less than 70? No. So why? Because of only the suppose I'm giving as greater than 70. Okay. Yes. So those who have age less than 70, no one is there. So I'm trying to drop. So now what happened? Those who are greater than 70 alone drop your turning. So now is there anyone greater than 70? No, everyone are below 70 only. That is why previous condition has been dropped. Now those who have scored, I'll go with the marks now. Those who have scored greater than 70. Those who have scored less than 70 because that is the name I have to filter. So now those who have scored greater than 70 filter their names alone. So in the Excel sheet we are doing that only. So in the Excel sheet, those who have scored, so previously changing the date, sorry, age. You can see here those who have scored greater than 70 I'm filtering. So here same thing. Those who have scored less than 70, I'm dropping. Here you're trying to filtering. Here I'm trying to dropping. That's all. Very simple. Filtration also is there in the pandas. I'll tell you about the filtration. Now we're going with the drop. Now, same thing. Here is going to be one condition. For the one condition, it's fine. Completely works. Now, what if you want to go with like this? We have did with this condition. My weight also, sorry, age, we are filtering with the age, right? Age should be greater than 25. Then have to filter these two name alone. So I'll do that in the pandas. So now this is going to be the first condition. How to give two conditions? Any idea how to give two conditions? So if you want to give a two condition, after this, so you're giving a condition that after this you have to use a and. There's nothing but this condition and next condition. So now in this bracket, I'll have PF of what is my next condition? So my next condition should be age. Age, those who are less than, okay? Those who are less than 26 or 25 also fine. Okay, so 25. So filter or drop their names. After dropping their names, understand what I'm doing. After dropping their name, try to print with help of the index. Index nothing but you're making that position wise. So mismatching. So some bracket is mismatching. Okay, so we have to write where we are mismatching. So closing parenthesis. So first, this bracket is filtered. Next, this happens. Okay, bracket of. Okay, you have to close this. First condition we are giving here. Did we give the first condition? Yes, first condition is going to be true. Okay, so fine. First condition is going to be true. Okay, now it is correct. Value error. So what is that value error? So unable to go with the series because length is going to be 9, but you are given 5. Okay, we'll do one thing. First, we'll try to filter the age first. Then we'll combine the two conditions. We'll check with the age. Just I'll add a one more cell. Thus, in this cell, I'll try to use. Now this time I'll use like age. If my age is those who are less than 25, filter their names. Here we are able to filter their names. Yeah, okay. So now I'll give as one. Yes, so I can filter that 31, 28, and 32. So it is working. And now what I'll do, so if it is single statement is working, two should be working. I think that somewhere we are making some mistake in brackets. Just I'll zoom out. We'll check. We are opening the method. Done. After opening the method, we are calling with now df1. Okay, here you have to give one more bracket because this bracket, inside this bracket, I'm passing one condition. So here I don't want to use square bracket now. So this is going to be one condition because how to give like a, I'll tell you one condition like this. How to write a condition is if my, suppose A value is going to be 10, B value is going to be 20. So I'll put a like C value also is going to be, suppose I'm giving as 50. If my, if my A value, if it is greater than 10, we'll give it a one condition. Yeah, one condition. And we'll be using a A and B. And if my B value, if it is greater than 10, and using and if my C value is greater than 10, if all the condition is getting true, then try to print hello. So now you can see here and here. Okay, sorry, we are giving uppercase. Completely sorry. It should be a lowercase because we are not using pandas. We are using programming language. You can see here, if my A value is greater than 10, is A value is greater than 10? No. Here itself condition is false. Suppose here I'm giving as a 5, then you'll be getting output as hello. So now you have to take individual. That is what this bracket. This bracket, I'll zoom. So this bracket belongs to first condition. This bracket belongs to the second condition. This bracket belongs to the third condition. Same thing I think so we have to do here. So now we have to filter the first condition. So what is my first condition? So inside the square bracket, we have first condition. We are given the first condition, right? Yes, we are given the first condition. And we are applying. From here, my second condition starts. So from here, my second condition starts up to the ending value. So now, after this ending this value, I'll give a square bracket. Now it is matching. And now you can see the output excellent. So that one bracket only we have missed it because this is going to be the first condition, this is going to be the second condition. So we have mapped and this everything belongs to the one data frame. So one square bracket. So you can see here now we are getting the output. Previously we did not get, now we are getting the output. Now check the everything is working or not. So now I have to give a condition as 26. Okay. Now here I can give A and B also. Giving as a and value is going to be error. So because okay, we have to use symbol. Pandas is not accepting, so you have to give the symbol. So now I can see that and is nothing but this condition and this condition. So now who is going to be less than 70? I'll be displaying their name, and who is going to be sorry dropping their name, and those who are going to be 26 also I can use this. So now it is completely fine to work. So based on this, you can give n number of conditions. So if you want to add one more condition, give. After this, I'll be having one more condition. So like this, individual condition will work. Or if you want to go with a greater than, you can see here one has been dropped. And suppose your mark should be greater than, you can see here it has been dropped. One by one it is dropped. So like this, based on a condition, it will work. So if my condition is greater than 70, you have to print. So his mark is greater than 70. Yes, you can see here 83, 97, 65. Remaining has been dropped. What is my age? Age should be every age should be greater than my 26. So remaining should be dropped. So you can see here 25, 20, and 31. So because why you might ask was there why this 25 and 20 is printing? Only because of this backup, this 83 and 97. Now, if you want to drop like that, like how the Excel sheet is working, like that, if you want to work, yes, for that also we have a condition. I'll tell you that. Nothing but next. So how to drop the column in column wise. So now it is not dropping the column wise. Now, if you want to like a drop the column wise also, you can give as axis is going to be 1. So axis 0 means it is going to be completely called as axis 0 means it is depending on only row. Remember this in the pandas. Axis 0 means it is called as column. Remember this. I'll put in the markdown. So remember this. So axis 0 means it is only depending on only row. Axis 1 means it is depending on column. Now we have to drop a multiple column, or you have to drop the column. How to drop the column? Drop the column. So how to drop the column, we'll check. It should be a heading. And now if you want to drop the column, so first thing you have to do is you have to select which column you want to drop. So what is my column name? Suppose you want to column name, you have to drop like position, you have to drop. So very simple. I can, even if you want to drop n number of columns or a selective columns, it's up to you. I'll teach you with every way by giving the name, or without giving the name also we can drop it. So first is nothing but I have everything I've stored in the df. You can see here all the df has been printed. From this df1, I have to drop. What I have to drop? I have to drop one column called as position. Position. So now I'll give as access. If you're not giving access, you can see here position you're given. What does that mean? There is no permission. By default, access is going to be there is no permission will be given. So if you want to make that permission accessible, then I have to give as access equal to 1. So you can see here my data has been dropped. Did you find anything like a position? No, because position is here, but here we don't have position. Position has been dropped. Now suppose if you want to drop 2 column also, it's up to you only. After this you can give one more. I'll make a mistake now. Let me see how many people are finding this. Next I have to drop a age. Suppose I'm giving as an age. Will it give the answer or it will be error? Give your answer in the chat. Will it be error or it will be dropped? Answer you'll be getting. Answer will be, and see here it is dropped. So position has been dropped, age has been dropped. So no issue. Why not? Because if one is working, I can go with here. Access you're given clearly. Suppose this access you're not giving. So then you can see here error. So you're not giving the access. But now you're given the access so that I can drop it. How much? Suppose you're giving us 0. 0 also not possible because 0 is nothing but you are denying the permission. Now if you're giving us a 1, you're giving the permission to do that. Again, if you want to drop college, you have to drop. You have to drop. So college is dropped. You can see here college has been dropped. Awesome, right? Okay. Now see how many features you are learning one by one. Next is nothing but drop the column by their names. Just one thing, nothing but by names we are dropped it. Now if you want to drop by the row wise, we are discussed with a drop that axis equal to 0. So now we are done with our axis, index, in place you have discussed, everything is done. How to drop the row and wise and the column wise, everything is done. What is next? Nothing but how to add. How to add the column. So now you have dropped it. After dropping something, you're telling to add. So how to add? Suppose I'll print as df1. So my everything has been printed. Yeah. Now after the salary, you're telling that I have to add a one column which is called as a. Suppose I'll go with a new column. I'll keep name column as a new column, or I'll keep as the employee ID. We don't have your employee ID, so I'll keep as one employee ID. I have to add it. So how to add? So next is nothing but add column. Same thing, if you want to add row also, it's up to you. You can add. Now I'll tell you about the column. So add column to data frame. So D should be in uppercase. I'll write as it is so that you'll remember. So data frame. So to my data frame, I have to add a column. So how to add a column? For adding the column, very simple. In my data frame 1, in my data frame, I have to give my column name first. What is my column name? Suppose employee code. Employee code. I'll give as employee code. Employee code column has been created. Now, after creating the employee code, you should give some value for that, because see here, after creating the salary, for the salary we have some value 77, 66, 99, etc. etc. is there. Some values are there. Now, if I'm giving as df1 and employee code, and if I'm printing this df1, you can see here there is no meaning itself. What does this mean of this? You're not telling. So you have to add it, right? If you want to add, just I'll put as equal to, I'll put as my pandas df dot, I'll put as nan, nan, not nan, it's going to be nat, nat, not a values. So now this has been created. You can see here employee code has been created. So you have to create, but in my pandas nat, nat is nothing but by default nothing is there. So now that you have to store in which column? Column name called as a emp code. So now employee code has been created. After creating, I'm to store nat. Now, generally now the question is nothing but you might ask. So now I have created the column, completely fine. Now how to add some value? So you have given as a nat, but I know the employee numbers like a code I know. So now I have to add that value. This is nothing but adding a column is done. Now can we tell that adding a value to the row wise? For this name Paramesh, I have to give a code, employee code. For this Saurav, Mohanji, I have to give a code. So now I have to write based on the row only. So now how to write that values? So very simple. I'll give as in my df1, I have created a column called as emp code, emp code. In this emp code, in place of giving nd.nat, nat is nothing but not a value or not a number. Nan, we can tell as a nan also. Now, from here, I have to give some values. So what are the values I have to pass? Suppose my ID is going to be 1133, and next person is going to be 3344. Next person is going to be 5566. Next person is going to be 7777. 8888. This is going to be the employee code I'm giving. Randomly I have given. So now after adding it, okay, after giving, or you can keep this as a one variable, like a list of values. So in my, I'll give as a code. Now what is the next one? Next is nothing but I'll inside where, inside my df1, inside my df1, I have a column called as employee code. I column called as employee code. In that code, I have to replace my variable, that is list values going to be code. I have replaced. Now if I want to print df1, you can see here it has been reflected. 1133, 3344, 5566, 7777, 8888. It has been reflected? Yes, it has been reflected. And one more doubt you might ask, sir, what if I know only 4% employee code, I don't know about the last person employee code? So can I give like empty here? And here that is not going to be valid. So length of the value is going to be 4, does not match with the index of 5. So now totally we have a 5 people, but you're given only 4 index. So for that, can I, suppose you are not knowing, can I give like nan here? I'm giving as a nan. You can see your nan. I don't know the number, right? So you have to tell that to the machine, how machine can understand. If you're not knowing how, for example, you want to change the password, until you click on the forgot password, how it can reset your password? Not possible. So instruction should be given by the human, and machine should follow, and machine should give other response. Same thing you're telling. I know the person, other person for employee numbers I know, but for the last person I don't know. So whatever you don't know, you should give a idea like not a number. Not only number, if you want to write as I don't know, you want to give like this. And see here, I'll print as I don't know. Anything you have to give. So if you're not giving, suppose you want to make it as a blank, then you can give only like a double quotation. You can see here it is like a blank. So don't want to print anything. I should leave as a empty, sir. So no issue, you can give empty. Nothing is there. So now easily can understand that for the Rahul, all the details are there other than the employee code. For the Nikita, all the details are there other than the employee code. I can understand like this. Anything is fine. Okay. But according to the pandas, we'll deal with the NaN file. That is what the next topic. So based on that, I'll teach you. So NaN is there. In the place of NaN, if you want to replace the number also, we can do the replacement. We are learning many things. When you're listening, you'll feel like you are able to understand. But when you're started to do implementation, slowly only you learn one by one. It takes some time to carry. For the first time, you cannot learn data science easily. Data science is not that much easy and it's not difficult also. It takes some time, I'm telling. Within a span of hour, we cannot complete. Within a span of hour, you cannot understand. Few percent capacity will be very good. Few percent capacity will be medium. Few percent, I don't have any idea about the coding itself. Directly you jump into the data science like this. Then you can learn or not. You can definitely learn. Even if you have belongs to the agri department also, yes, you can learn. Even if you are doctor also, yes, you can learn. Even if you are nurse also, you can work. But it takes some time, I'm telling. Suppose you have idea about coding knowledge already, then it is easy. You can learn very quickly. So we are done with this idea. Now, if you want to add at the specific index, you're telling us now I have to make this employee code before this or after this team. I don't want to add at the last. I have to make this employee code next to this team or before the team or somewhere your position you're giving. So next is nothing but adding a column at the particular specific position where I have to add. So suppose you have a data call as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is there. By mistake, you have deleted the Wednesday. Can you add the Wednesday column after Sunday or after Saturday? No. So I have to add a Wednesday column next to Tuesday before Thursday. In between, I have to have that is what you're telling. So now in between this team and marks, I have to add a column called as employee code. Now that how to do by using the insert function. One parameter we have discussed already, like append, insert. Yes. So now we'll go with the insert. So df1, in my df1, I have to use a function called as insert. Okay. Now what I have to insert? I have to insert at which position? I'm telling us I have to insert at the 0th position, first position, second position. Because 0th position is going to be name, first position is going to be team, second position is going to be I have to insert. I have filtered. In the second index position, I have to insert a column name called as employee code. Or already employee code is created. Now we'll create one more like a kind of a lucky number I can tell. So I have to print the lucky number of this particular persons. So now I'll go with a column name called as a lucky number. Lucky number. Now, what is a lucky number we have to give? I give the lucky number as suppose my lucky number is going to be 7. Saurav is going to be 4. And next person is telling us a 3 and 4 and 9. What might be there? I can do that. So now I can see here my lucky number has been created. Now after creating my lucky number, I'll give as a true. True is nothing but I should reflect in my data frame. So df1, you can see here lucky number has been created. In between where? In between that team and marks, it has been created. Yeah. So you can see that value 7, 3, 2, and 6. Suppose you're not given, you don't know the lucky number of Nikita. Can I give only 4 number? No. Value error will be there. Because size is 5, but you're giving only 4 value. If you're not knowing, at least pass NaN. Give as a NaN. So that I can understand that there is no thing. At least if you're not want to mention like NaN, at least mention like double quotation, empty double quotation. So that in that particular cell alone, it will be like a empty. So it has been created. So how to create a column at the given position also you can do this. Suppose you want to get that input from the user, like that n value, that is whatever that index, IDX, that index you have to get from the user. Means I can get that index from the user by using int of input, give this variable here, IDX. So now I have to insert this index called as a lucky number in which position. Suppose I'm adding in the fifth position. Okay, you can see here in the fifth index position it has been created. So wherever you're telling, I'll try to insert. Already we have discussed like inserted, so that is getting one more time. No issue, but you can see here that value has been passed. This is how you have to get that input from the user and you have to print that. Yep. So next is nothing but last topic about the pandas, nothing but working with the missing data. So here we have missing data. So like that, how to work with the missing data. I'll take one Excel sheet like this here. You can see here many values are missing. This is missing, and this is missing, and here is missing, here is missing. Wherever the empties are there, that is missing. So that is what the next topic we'll be learning. iLock we have discussed, lock we have discussed, and working with the missing data. Next topic is going to be working with the missing data. What is working with the missing data? So missing data can occur when no information is provided for one or more items or for the whole units. You're not given for whole units. Example, you are discussed with the employee code like a NAT. NAT was there. NAT is nothing but I have created a column called as the employee code, but in that NAT column, that values are like NAT column name called as our employee code. It was previously NAT was there. Now after that, what we did, we have changed to the employee numbers. So now same thing, wherever you have like a empty in your Excel sheet, I have to make it as a some changes, because if it is a empty, it creates a biggest problem. That is what they are telling. So missing data is a very biggest problem in real life example or real life scenario. So now wherever you have a missing data, either I should fill something, because if you have a missing data like empty something is there, anyone can fill anything. Suppose I'm sharing you some Excel sheet, it is not there. Some cells, it is not there. You can write anything, right? My age, current age is going to be 28, but suppose you are feeling like my age is going to be 30 plus. You will write as 30 plus. Is that a valid data or it is a true data? No. This create a biggest problem when you're going with real life scenarios. That is what they think it is the biggest problem. So to find or to check the missing value, we have to use a function name called as this. So function name is going to be yes null, just note it out, yes null and not null. Yes null is nothing but whether it is going to be empty or not, I'll return. Not null is nothing but opposite to it. Opposite to it. So now in order to check the missing value in the pandas data frame, we have to use a function name called as a yes null and the not null. So both function help us to check whether the given value is going to be nan or not. Nan is nothing but nothing. Remember, not a value. Next is nothing but based on if it is not, then I have to tell some values you're given. How we like how do we remove a column? Drop column we have discussed right already, Sarvesh. If you have a doubt, I'll go with one more time. How to insert employee code between teams and marks? Between team and the marks we have discussed, right? In between where you want, you can insert. Indexing you have to give. Now there these function or can be used in the panda series in order to check whether it is going to be null or not. So first of all, you can see here, I'll explain here, then I'll go with, I'll take one Excel sheet and I'll try to continue. Just a minute. Wow, today time is like almost 8:05. So soon. Time is running like anything. Okay, now in this question, what they're asking. So first of all, I have created some. First score is going to be 190 and np.nan. np.nan is nothing but nan. I'm telling. So 95, here we have some value, but here we don't have value. Here we don't have value. Here we have some value. So now how the sheet will be created? You will be having like a sheet with a column wise and the row wise. So wherever you have this nan is nothing but empty. Now wherever you have nan, I have to check. How to check? By using the function name called as a yes null. Yes null is nothing but whether it is a null. 100 is a null? No. So if no means false, because it is a value 90. Is 90 is a null? No, it is going to be false. Nan is, it is a empty, it is a null value, yes, because nan is nothing but null, nothing. So yes, so condition is going to be true. Now 95, can I tell is a null value? No, so it is false. Next, 30. 30 is a non value? No. So false, false, and false. Now can I tell last is going to be null? Yes is nothing but it is like a equal to equal to. Now whether it's going to be true or false, I have to check. Is it a non value? Yes, then true. Same thing. First time is going to be non value. Condition is going to be true. So yes null is nothing but we'll check whether it is going to be yes null or not. And other than the null, we can go with the not null also. Yes null and not null. This is nothing but opposite to it. Wherever you have a false, that will become like a true. Wherever you have a true, that will change to the false. See, you can see here. I'll compile and show you. You can see here. So wherever you have like a value, that is going to be false. Now same thing if you want to go with the next function other than the is null, we have one more function called as a not null. Here focus everything and learn all the method. This is going to be our final assessment test. I'll ask what are the way to check the given value is going to be null or not. Like this kind of question I'll be asking, everything is going to be MCQ type only. Be ready to answer. So now you can see here opposite table. Like here, wherever you have a true and false, it has been changed as here. So here we have a false, here we have a true. So continuously we have a 3 false, here continuously we have a 3 true. Why? Nothing but yes null is nothing but you're checking whether it is null or not. Not null is nothing but you're checking for the opposite. If it is a not null, make it as a true. Is 100 is a not null? Yes, then true. 90 is a not null? Yes. But np.nan is a null? Yes. Then I have to go with the false. Yeah. Now, how to load the sheet? See here, I have taken one Excel sheet here. Like you can have, see here, none is there. Here also we have a empty. Here we have a empty. Empty is there. This file name is going to be timesheet. So month wise, how many class you handle in per month, and how many tests has been conducted to the particular batch. So in the date of 22/01/01, same thing, etc. Some random data I have given. We'll load this first. So import pandas as PD. I'll make it a, now we are going with the missing data, right? I'll go with the MD, missing data. So MD I'll take. So MD is equal to PD dot, so what is my file name? So I have to read it. So read underscore CSV, and my file name is going to be time series. So I'll type here, so you can automatically suggestion is taken. So timesheet underscore data dot CSV. So now I have to print that MD. So attribute error. So why? What is that? Attribute pandas has no attribute of C. Okay, CSV, spelling mistake. CSV. So you can see here, here my data has been loaded. And now, if you want to find the type of MD, so type is going to be data frame. Data frame. Now, sir, how to find the type of individual column? So you can see here individual column. If you want to find the data type, how to find individual data column? Any idea? You have to filter that. So how to filter? Print type of what? Sorry. So print type of in my MD. I have a column called as day is there. Day. So what is my day? In the zeroth index portion, we have a string. Can we tell this data is a string? Is data a string? No, right? It is like a time stamp we can tell. Suppose if you take other cell, month is there. Some values are there, like a float values are there. I can take like suppose you're taking a month of, you can see here float 64. It is exactly matters. But see here, this is a date, right? How can we tell it as a string? So now, how to make that as a string? Sorry, how to make that as a timestamp? Very trickiest way only. So if you want to go with day is given, so day actually it is printing like a because it takes this day. Can see a series. Now I don't want series in that particular thing. Whatever data type is there, I have to change. So now how to change that? So very simple way. We have something called as parse data or dates. I'll show you that method before changing this. Come on, I'll show you what are the methods we have. Many things are there, so we have to search for parse. Where we have, okay, it is not just, I'll try to filter here. So we have parse. I'll give a suggestion. You can see here, parse date. So parse dates is equal to, I'll give as a true. I'll store that MD. Now it is printed. Now if you want to find the type of this, so how to find the type of this? By using this print statement, I'll try to find the type of this. So given the next line, I'll give here. You can see here, okay, it is going to be string, still it is string. Okay, it is, I think that is not updating. Okay, we are giving as a true. Okay, because we should not give as a true. Why? Because we are giving, we are converting, right? So in place of true is nothing but we take everything as a one data. Now you are telling I don't want remaining data. It should be as it is, like a float means it should be as a float only. Only which should I change? Only this day alone I have to change as my past dates. So now you can see here it is going to be timestamp. Can see a timestamp because it is a date, right? So this will be like a MCQ question they'll ask in the interview. There's a timestamp. So now it has been parsed a date. Dates is nothing but you're parsing whatever things you're telling, you're parsing it. You're converting string as a date. Okay, now according to our question, we'll first we'll try to read that MD. So MD has been read. Now you can see here wherever you have in this Excel sheet, wherever you have a MT, it is denoting with a NaN. Here also NaN is there. Here we have an two continuously MT. Here we have two continuously NaN and NaN. Okay. So wherever we have a MT, this is a sheet here. Wherever this sheet is different sheet. So wherever we have a MT, that is changed to the NaN. Now completely fine. NaN is nothing but kind of awkward. We can say like, what kind of NaN? What is that NaN you're telling? So how can I predict? Because if you take a person here, he have handled 50 hours, 50 class he have handled, and he have given a 10 test. But how can I tell that he have not worked for that month? If we should provide the package salary for him, so NaN is telling. So how can we tell it is NaN? Something is missing. We cannot tell that answer is going to be right because here also if you have a NaN, here also if you have a NaN, that in the entire month he have not worked. So we can tell he have not worked, so there is no salary. But here he have handled 50 hours and he have kept 10 tests, but still the monthly payment of hours is going to be like NaN. How it is possible? Not possible. This cannot be there. Now we have to fill something here. Only then I can tell that you have worked. So for that only we are going to go with the wherever you have a NaN file, we have to fill something. So filling the missing value using the fill NA or a replace or interpolate. So now we have three methods to change the data. So either by using a fill NA, either by using a replace or by using the interpolate. So first fill NA. First I have to find that whether we have a NaN data set is there or not. Yes. If NaN set is there or data set is there, after finding I have to fill something. So what should I fill? You can give like fill NA. Wherever you have a NA, fill with 1 or fill with a name called as Paramesh. You can fill like that. So now we'll do that only. So by going here. So fill, sorry, my MD dot fill NA. So wherever we have fill NA less than NaN, I have to replace with a 0. You can see here, wherever we found the NaN, NaN, it has been replaced with 0, 0.0, 0, 0.0, 0, 0.0, 0.0. And still again answer we cannot predict the right answer because he took 50 hours and he have kept 10 tests. But how can we tell as 0 comma 0? Again it is somewhat is matching. So first we'll learn one by one, understand how the statistic is working. So now Fill NA, I have filled with 0. Now if you want to fill with my name, I can fill with my name. So wherever we are having that none, I can replace with my name. Whatever you want, you can do it. But according to my database or a data set, it is not completely working. So that is what they are telling. We can go with a replace. We can go with a replace. So replace is nothing but here. When you are using this code, first I'll execute this code and I'll show you. Then I'll load with the Excel sheet. You can see here, wherever you have this fill NA, I'll be filling with null, 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 and null. Everything wherever you have a empty, I have filled with a null. Next, replace. We are using a replace. Replace nothing but what is my previous data. Suppose here we have a null. Replace is nothing but what is my previous data that I'll write as it is. Same thing here, we have a null. So what is my previous data? 56. So now 56.0, that will be reflect here. By default, take only float value. So do that, because in the first session I said you series how to create the empty series. By creating the empty series, your data type is going to be float 64. Same thing it is working here. Yeah. So you are getting as integer, so it is converting as a float. So here null. Before this null, do you have anything? No. That is why it is going with a none. So now if you want to fill that values by using the, because in my MD, when you're printing this, either it should be some value. It can be before value or after value, something you should be filled here. So now it is not filling. So if you're using this replace, what is my previous value? 240, that will be reflected here. So how to write that? So my MD dot, so what I have to replace? This I have to replace. So replace. You can see here previous value has been reflected. So 240, here we have a 240. Same thing here, 300, 300, 300, 3 times 300, because here we had a 2 empty box was there, so it is reflecting previous value. So do you want to use only replace? No, other than the replace, we have something called as a method. So in that parameters, we can have like a MD is equal to fill NA. We have a method. So I'll show you that parameter also. Method is equal to, we have a two things, f fill. F fill is nothing but forward fill. So what is my before value, that will be taken. So what is my before value? Okay, fill NA is not defined. Okay, we have to use data frame. So MD dot. Okay, so now it has been reflected. Now if you are printing, you can see here what is my before value, it is reflecting. If you want to see my Excel sheet also, you can see here. I'll make it small so that you can view my. I'll keep over here. Just cross check what is happening. So this is going to be my data. Okay, so how many, just check the previous value. So my previous value is going to be 240. So you can print here as a 240.0. Here we have empty. So empty is nothing but 360. So it is reflecting with a 360. So now if you see here, previous two value, oh sorry, previous value is going to be 300, but here we have a 2 empty. Whereas empty is nothing but 2 value has been changed as a 30 and sorry 300 and 300. So this is how it is individually working. So my previous value, it is taking up. So now you're telling that, sir, I don't want to take my forward fill. Forward fill is nothing but whatever the previous value is there, that will be stored here, 240. Here we will be stored with a 260. Here we will be storing with a 300. Here 300 will be there. So now here we have 50 and here we have a blank. So here 50 will be there, 50 will be there, and 50 will be there. So now like these kind of things is happening with help of F fill. So F fill is nothing but completely what it is like a based on the forward fill we used to tell. So now, sir, I should take the next value. For that, we can take a, in place of F fill, we'll take as a B fill. B fill is nothing but bottom fill we used to tell. So before, sorry, not before, bottom fill. So now what is my below value? That value will be reflected one by one. So B fill. So what are the methods are there? I'll try to fill, and after filling, I'll try to store. Next, other than this, one thing we have called as a access. So you can give a access. So access is going to be, or I can give as access as column name. So comma, last thing, it is like an ending one. So last is nothing but we can go with the columns. Here, this everything became like a my data. So now we have to go with a limit also there. Last is nothing but interploat. Fill NA we have discussed, and replace we have discussed. Last is nothing but interploat. Interploat is nothing but it is like a before and next value. Suppose you have in this Excel sheet, I'll close this because I'll give don't save. I'll open for one more time. Where is that time sheet? So time sheet data. Time is 8:20. So sorry for delay. I said you it happens when you're continuing something. We cannot wind up easily. First 3 days we did not get, but today we got it. No issue. So now see here in this between we don't have any value. So previously what we did, we are filling the previous value 260 we are filling, or either 300 we are filling here. But even this it is not a valid thing to print. So interploat is nothing but it will take 250 plus 300 divided by 2. It will take by next value, and the previous value it will take, and it will try to give a interfloat. So this is nothing but based on in the mathematics itself. Hope you learned this kind of function. So if no value is given, previous value and the next value, I'll take it as my center value. I'll take a average of previous and before. So based on that, next and previous. So based on that, I'll do it. So same thing when I'm going with the interfloat also. I'll tell you here how the interfloat will work. We can write a function name called as interploat only. So I'll have like a new is equal to md. First I'll print md value. So this is going to be the okay, md value has been changed. Okay, this is a mistake we are doing because md value has been changed. So there is no nan itself. So if there is no nan, then how can we write? That is what in this question we are getting. Okay, in this question it has not changed. Okay, you sorry, I have not noticed. See here, B fill is nothing but bottom fill, right? It is not taking the bottom fill. So 180 is a bottom value. It should be 180, 180, 180. Oh, I have not noted this. Okay, so here it is reflected. So now do one thing. We'll try to add a column of this. I'll try to take this sheet one more time. Where is the sheet? This is my sheet. Okay, I'll take the sheet. So this path is not needed. In place of storing in MD, this time I'll store in the MD1. So now what is MD1? My entire NAN file will be get printed. So you can see here NAN has been printed. Now I need to take a bottom value. So what is my bottom value? 180. So here also should be 180. Here also should be 180. Here we have a 40. Here you should have a 40, 40 and 40. So now we'll check whether it is filling or not. So we can see here. I'll leave this column. It should be MD1. Here it should be MD1. Here it should be MD1. You can see here it has been filled. 40, 40, 40, 40. Here is going to be 180, 180, 180. So it has been changed. So remember, B fill is nothing but bottom fill, or like a down fill, and F fill is nothing but forward fill. Now we'll go with interploat. So for the interploat, when I'm printing this MD, you can see here some values are there. Or if I'm printing that MD1, again it is not printing that NAN. So why? Because it has been reflected. So now I'll load this one more time to make you understand how the interploat is working. So here I'll try to load this MD1 as MD2 as of now. I'll change. So MD2 is going to be NAN is there. So wherever you have a NAN, I have to apply with a interploat. So now I'll go with new variable is equal to which not upper paneling, because in place it is getting as a true. So my MD2 dot I'll be using inter enter load. Now I'll try to print the new. You can see here my before value. So what is my before value? 240. What is my next value? 260. So in mid, what is our value there? That mid value will be taken. Same thing here. So my previous value, next value, in that middle, whatever value is there, I can give that. That is what the interfloat means. Okay. Now, if you want to drop the NA, last is like wherever you have a NAN file, I should drop search. Suppose if you want to print that MD2 you're printing, last topic in the pandas, we'll wind up the session. So here we have a NAN is there. Wherever NAN is there, I have to drop that NAN file. So how to drop? By using drop NA. Drop NA. So I'll make it as a title. Drop NA. So drop NA is nothing but I'll make it as a new one is equal to from MD2 I have to drop. Previously we are dropping column, previously we are dropping like a row wise, column wise, indexing, slicing, everything we did. Now we'll go with the drop NA. So drop NA, after doing NA, print that one. You can see here after deleting all the NA file, this is going to be my last result. All the wherever in the row wise, column wise, wherever you have this NaN, everything will be dropped. Only my original data will be printed. Wherever you given the value, everything will be printed. That is what the drop NA means. So I'll give this in the chat. Okay. So done with our session. Almost we have taken up to 8:30. So everything is there here. Just recall one by one. Please refer the recording, and I'll share you the material also. This IPO file I'll try to share. And I think so. Hope you know how to open. So in the mobile you cannot open. Just you have to download the laptop or a system or a desktop, and after downloading you have to my file you should store in where you are having your Jupyter notebook. There try to paste, then open, it will open. By only through the Jupyter notebook, you can open that file. Like this will be there. Why? Because you can make a modification. So now if I have this file, if I'm sending to you, you can modify. Normally in the GitHub, I used to upload my content. People can download easily, but I won't give access to change. But now I'm sharing in the WhatsApp file, no issue. You can download and you can do the modification only. So fine, that's about the today's session. So sorry for delay. It happens. And the most important thing, by tomorrow we'll have a session because by the next week Saturday, I have some different plan of traveling. So that class will be taken up today, like tomorrow. So tomorrow sharply by 4 to 5:30 we'll handle a session. I have dropped the timing. Katibani ma'am have dropped the message also. By mistake she have dropped the different timing, but actual time is going to be from 4 to 5:30. 4 to 5:30, 4 p.m. to 5:30 we'll have a tomorrow session. Please try to join and that time. And this course will be ended on Friday itself. Exactly 10 days. So we'll be ending on Friday. So tomorrow's timing alone from 4 to 5:30. Please note it out. The timing alone. So join accordingly and done with the pandas. Okay, today was bit fast, sir. Okay, understood. Really, because we have started bit slow. That is the problem. Now we are going with it's not fast. Normally, maybe if you feel like a fast because you are not getting time to implement, or just you are observing my screen. That is what you feeling like a fast. I think so. But no issue. Slowly, just see the recording, pass it one by one. That is why we are sharing the recording also. If you're slowing up, we cannot complete the remaining topics because NumPy is there, data visualization is there. For data visualization itself, I need 3 class to get into the base. So 3 class means think about that. So it's like nearly 4.5 has I need. So that is what I'm trying to do it. But I have to cover the syllabus. So we are done with the syllabus. Moreover, done with the pandas. Now tomorrow we'll start with the NumPy. NumPy max within 2 class I can complete. Remaining will go with the depth. So try to see the recording, and if you have any doubt, text me. I'll try to reply you whenever I'll be able to get a free time. So thank you so much. If you have any doubt, let me know. If no doubt, just put a thank you in the chat and then we can leave the session. Have a wonderful day and don't miss tomorrow's session. Please note it out the timing. tomorrow you'll be having session. Thank you. Bye bye.